Hi, this is Synthchaser from synthchaser.com. I'm going to give you a functional demonstration of this ARP Explorer I that I have for sale. This is just to show you that it's working and give you an idea of the sounds that it's capable of making. This is not a musical demo by any stretch of the imagination. So let's start up here with the with the tuning actually. So this uses the same oscillator that's found in the ARP 2600, the 4027-1 submodule, and it's divided down into various sub-octaves. So there's 2 foot, 4 foot, 8 foot, 16 foot, and then it is shaped into different waveform shapes. There's brass, which is sawtooth, hollow, which is square, reed, which is pulse, and then fuzz, which has a pulse width modulation thing going on. And you can mix and match these, and they stack in any way you want. So because it's the one oscillator that's divided down, it doesn't really matter which waveform or pitch I pick to show you the tuning. It's going to be tracking the same across the other octave and waveform selections. So here we have and I'll do it on the higher register. And lower. So you have a tune knob here. This is your fine tune knob. I wouldn't use it as a performance control. I would just use it to get the instrument in tune. There's a pitch bend knob down here that you can use as a performance control. But getting back up here, so I showed you hollow waveform on the 4 different octave selections. So let's move over to brass. And as I mentioned, you can mix and match these registers. And waveforms. So let's move along to the next waveform, which is reed, which is the narrow pulse on the high register. So fuzz has a pulse width modulation thing going on, so let's see, there's also a white noise generator, so it says noise and it has some little asterisk, exclamation point, whatever. It's not going to swear at you if you turn this one on. It's just going to make white noise. And you can stack that with whatever you want. So those are your waveforms. I'll go back to hollow for the rest of the demonstration. Before I forget, I'll show you all the keys are working. And if I turn off this, you can hear the bushings are nice and quiet because I just replaced them and did the key bed refurbishment. You can read the description of the listing, and it'll say the key things that I did to this synthesizer. So moving along here, there's this effects section, and effects has the volume control, and you'll notice that it's not scratchy because these are brand new Synthchaser precision sliders. You can read more about that or see more about that in the the video that I just did on the triple ARP Explorer repair video. There's a repeat switch, so I have it right now in the center position, which is it's no repeat. If I push it up to the keyboard repeat setting, when I hold a key down, it's going to repeat or re-trigger that note based on the speed of my LFO. If I switch it down to auto repeat, it'll trigger based on the LFO even if I'm not holding a key down. So that's the repeat. There's a vibrato with respect to the pitch. So there's the speed, which we've already done, and then there's the depth slider. I have the depth turned down, so I'll raise the depth. So that's the vibrato. There is a vibrato delay, so I have the switch turned off now. If you turn it on, it'll give about a half second to second delay before the vibrato kicks in. So there it is with a delay off. That's the A-B comparison there. There is a switch called bender, which many people think will disable this pitch bend knob. So we'll get to that in a minute. But that's not what it does. It just bends the pitch for a tiny bit, like a little blip at the beginning of the note. So with it off and with it on. So that's that. There's portamento. I have the portamento switch turned off now. If I turn it on, it engages the portamento effect. And you can set the portamento speed. I think with the slider all the way down, it's equivalent to having the switch off, but they have the switch there anyway, so they must have some reason for that. There's the pitch bend knob, so there's a nice little deadband zone in the center. So if you wiggle it a tiny bit, I mean, you don't have to get it right back exactly where it was to get the thing back in tune when you bend. So that's the pitch bend. So let's move up here now to this section. This is the ADSR and the filter. So we'll start with the ADSR, and you'll notice these two switches here. They say preset on the top and manual. Right now we've had them in manual mode thus far during the demonstration. And if you move the ADSR switch to preset, then it's going to use whatever ADSR values ARP predefined as their preset values, which sounds like this. And your sliders will have no effect when it's in preset, but when it's in manual mode, all four sliders are active and engaged. So let's take a look at the ADSR parameters. So there's attack. So right now I've closed the envelope and I'm going to start adding in a little bit of attack. And then the very longest attack setting. Great. There's the decay. So I'll add a little bit of decay. Idea. I'm not going to let it go the whole time. So then the sustain levels there, and then release. So this is with no release, with a little bit of release. So that's the ADSR with respect to the VCA. Is how we're hearing it right now. Moving over here, we have the filter. So this also has a preset and manual switch. We've been in manual mode, and the manual and preset switch pertains to these two sliders, the yellow capped ones. This is the cutoff frequency slider, and this is the resonance slider. So I've had the filter wide open, maximum cutoff frequency and no resonance. If you put it in preset mode, it's going to go to whatever values for these two sliders that are predefined as their preset. And it doesn't matter what you do to these two sliders, they are not functional when you're in preset mode. But when you're not in preset mode, you can set them. So what I'll do now, though, this has the 4034 filter sub-module in it, which is the same one that's in the ARP Pro Soloist, and is essentially the same one as the 4035, which is in the Mark II Odyssey. And that's a 4-pole Moog ladder filter knockoff. So it's a very fat filter, and particularly when you start stacking these sub-octaves and waveforms, you can get really, really thick sounds out of this keyboard. Particularly for a single oscillator keyboard. So what I'll do now is I'll sweep the filter cutoff frequency at various resonances. So no resonance. And then if I push this all the way up, it's going to go into self-oscillation. So that is the filter. You can modulate the filter with your choice of either or the ADSR or the LFO. So let's take a look at it with the ADSR. So let's add some attack and release and kind of close our filter a little bit. And now we add some ADSR modulation in. So you can hear the cutoff frequency, because I've got it in self-oscillation, you hear the frequency of the filter going up during the attack portion of the envelope and going back down during the release portion. LFO. Sorry, my amp is vibrating there. You might, I don't know if you can hear that through the speaker of the camera. So then basically this is the speed of your LFO and this is the depth with respect to the filter modulation. And that, my friends, is pretty much it. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching. I'm Synthchaser from synthchaser.com. Have a great day.